Let's go.
Hi, I'm Troy Colmer and welcome to the Freedom Net.
Welcome back.
Hi, I'm Troy Colmer and welcome back to the Freedom Network. Our main mission here is to give you all the tools that you need to become self-empowered and limitless. We want you to finish the rest of this year off in the best possible shape of your life. And also to raise the vibration of this earth. Because how that's going to work is when you become strength, everything around you becomes strength. So that means that when you're strength and I'm strength and everybody's strength, that means the whole globe becomes strength. What do you think about that, Craig?
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah. And so, I've got to stop saying and so.
Bit hard to drop lifelong habits, isn't it?
Yeah. I am working on it. I've got here my good mate, Craig Harris. He's a personal trainer and all-round top bloke. He's my co-host here on the Freedom Network podcast, along with a few other people. And so today we're just going to have another discussion on the power of the mind. And we're going to give you a few examples of things that we've manifested to our lives. Because what you have to realise is that it is very real. Like, it doesn't matter if you believe me or you don't believe me. Because you're manifesting every day whether you are or you aren't. So my thing is, you may as well take control of it.
Why not, eh? Get on the good vibes.
Yeah. And so, there I go again. And so.
No, but like you say, it is a real thing, eh? You've got to, thoughts are powerful. You've got to watch what you put out there because it'll come back.
Oh, 100%. And you've got to guard your mind like a fortress too. This is one of the other things that we actually didn't really talk about, the power of words and the power of thought. We haven't really discussed that on those other 5 podcasts, but it is vitally important too. Like, it is hugely important that you guard your mind like a fortress, because when you understand how the whole thing works, when you're in a big group of people and you've got all these thoughts going around, if you can tune in to other people's thoughts, and you can't actually hear them, but that you will get something in your mind and then you'll get a thought that you'll think that's yours, but it might not be yours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so the idea is to always be monitoring your thoughts, because when something comes in, you go, hang on a minute, why am I thinking that?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, it's global. And it's a global thing.
So that's because when you come into somebody else's energy field, you pick up on that.
It can happen. It can happen anywhere. And this is why, if you watch Elon Musk, we've talked about it before, that one that he did with Joe Rogan. And he said that his mind doesn't turn off. Like, the thoughts just keep coming. He doesn't know where they come from. All these ideas, they just keep flowing.
Yeah, right.
And the same thing with Steve Jobs.
I was about to say, the guy from Apple did the same thing, didn't he? He did it mainly through his meditation every night.
Yeah, he was addicted to meditation.
Yeah, he'd just connect and then download.
Yeah, he'll get the download. And you hear people all the time, they say that. They say, about the download. And so,
through meditation or just generally?
Well, I think some people can just connect.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like Elon Musk, he's just got an open channel.
Yeah, right. So just okay. So that's why he's into so many things, because he just keeps on. He just thinks of a business, and then it all gets downloaded.
Well, I don't even think he has to think of the business. I think that something just comes in his mind, and he goes, and because he's such an implementer. So you see the difference between him and me, probably.
Other than his billions.
Other than he's a multi-billionaire, but no, in the way of thinking, not money size. Say in the way of thinking, right? So if I thought, say for instance, he made like this flame blaster thing. That's just one of the things that he just made. Like, but if that come into my mind, like, I would just watch that go straight out the door.
Yeah. But he can implement.
But everything he gets, he implements. And so when you start implementing, this is why it's important. Like, to start to develop the intentions of being a manifester. Like, so at the end of each day, this is what we've been working on with this new group, our very first group that we're taking through for our new cause, Empowering Women, through the Freedom Network. And this is what I've just been teaching them. So what you do is you at the end of the day, you go back over your day and see if you manifested something into your day.
Right.
And then you write it down. And so what that does, if you do that every day, so every day you're looking for things that you've manifested.
And you can correlate that with the thought that you had at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, and so what happens though, it's like a muscle. And it's like building strength in your arms or something.
Right.
You know, the more that you do it, the better the manifesting goes. I'll give you some examples, right? So when I first did this. So I was building this platform, and I keep saying I'm a 10 out of 10 when it comes to knowing how the mind works, but I'm 1 out of 10 with technology.
Right.
And like I've had to, oh man, it's been that difficult. All these things. Oh, you think you get it, and then it doesn't work. And like for instance, the Freedom Net we just launched, and then the next day got bombarded with AI bots just signing up. I don't know how they did it. They signed up and then they just put these profanities all through the site.
Right.
Mate, I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on this rotten thing. And, so disheartening, eh?
Yeah.
Like you think, oh my God. But luckily, another solution came out, and I think it's worked out better in the end. So maybe that was meant to happen.
Maybe that was meant to happen.
So now we've got an app. The whole thing's just like working like clockwork. But geez, it's been
a long road.
But we've had to do so much work in this last few weeks to transfer all that stuff over to this new site.
Right.
But we've just loaded up, and the ladies have just gone on there yesterday.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So we've been doing Zooms, and now we're like fully into the site.
So have you been getting good feedback on that site?
Oh, mate, how can you not?
Yeah. That's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. Yeah.
That's a no-brainer.
Awesome. Yeah, it's just, it's fantastic. And, and the ladies are having a great time because...
I was about to say, how are the ladies going?
Because once you discover that you have all this power, it's just like, it is like the Marvel series or something, when they realise you got the power. The power of your mind is incredible when you discover it.
And sometimes that's all people need, is just like a bit of not an awakening, but a bit of enlightenment. That you always hear people talk of, like professional athletes and winners and gold medalists, and they're always asked the same question by the journalists. They go, "Oh, what would you say to the aspiring young athlete out there?" And they all say the same thing, from golfers to swimmers to whatever. And they all say, just follow your dream.
Yeah.
They all say the same thing. And they're probably like the example you gave of Elon Musk. They're implementers. They just go, well, I'm going to win an Olympic gold medal.
Yeah. At any cost.
At any cost, yeah. It's a huge sacrifice, isn't it, to go down that road?
Well, we think it's sacrificing in our mind because we think, but for
commitment.
them,
it's a big commitment.
Yeah,
it's probably a better word. Yeah,
because in their mind, it's not a sacrifice at all. Like in their mind, they're just every day is just like
because they're so focused. And
they just see the gold medal.
Yeah,
yeah.
And even though it only comes round every 4 years. They've just got their eyes on the prize every time, every early morning, every cold dip in that pool. They're just grinding out. They're actioning to get to that goal.
Yeah, that's the exact same as the business thing, isn't it? Because I think business because you think sport because you're a sporty.
Yeah.
And I think.
Yeah, so that's funny, eh? Like we're both like the best of mates and do everything together, but we look at things in totally
different
ways. Like you're looking at the business side of things, and I'm probably looking at, like you say, the sporty sort of fun side of things. I have a serious side, but probably not business orientated.
Yeah, but that's fun for me.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
So it's still fun. Everything I do, I still see it as fun. And then the sport, I don't see that grinding as fun.
Yeah.
Well,
it's probably the same as me. If I sat down and looked at like how you look at the stock market or whatever, I'd find that torture.
Yeah.
But who's to say I mightn't get into it in one day?
Come on, Craig. It'd be like me going out doing a 20k run in the bush.
I'll just stick to it.
It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to do that. You're not come over to my side. I'm not going to your side. So.
Yeah.
That's probably why we go so well together.
Yeah.
Because we don't have to go on both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was getting back to a couple of things that I manifested in. So when I was building the website to start with, I used WordPress, and then on WordPress there's a theme thing called Thrive Themes that this guy built. His name's Shane Millar, and he's like an entrepreneur. And then I started looking into him, and he's just like this. I was thinking, man, what a life, you know, and he's worth millions. I was thinking, how would I be able to get in contact with this bloke just to be around someone like that? And like a couple of years later, next thing you know, he releases a course to one-on-one type setup to go and work with him.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and it was cheap because it was his first one. He just wanted to put bums on seats,
right?
To try and get this, because his idea is his one's called Icario, and he's doing a very similar thing that I want to do. You know, is to raise the vibration of the earth by everybody becoming healthy and wealthy. You know, that's the goal for him. I've got the exact same intentions, and yeah, next thing I did I think it was 7-week course with him.
Right.
So twice a week we get there and we chat with him, and
so you from that thought of,
yeah,
who do I attract?
Like he's the other side of the world.
Yeah, wow.
And he owns a multi-million-dollar company.
Yeah.
He's the founder of the company and the CEO. Well, he just sold it. I think I don't know how many millions. And yeah, the next thing you know, I'm working with him.
Wow.
It's just, it's incredible. And then another thing that happened with Zach's same setup.
So did you go, when you manifested that, I
didn't do anything, really. I didn't really put much into it at all.
Yeah, right. So you put the thought out there.
Yeah.
You
in saying that, I suppose there is emotion to it, because when you're thinking, you think, oh man, imagine how good it would be to work with that guy.
Right.
Like imagine that being, if that guy could just show me how to do all this and how to make that, and so I suppose I did think about it for a fair while.
Right.
You know, I was thinking, like, imagine if he could just come and show me how to do it all.
Yeah, right. But really it can be that simple, eh?
Yeah.
Like without even really, you're just going about the normal thought process.
Well, this is what I keep saying. This is what we did in the 5-part series. You're doing it whether you like it or not. You're manifesting whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And my door was always open. If he sent something out, that I'd be reciprocal, that I would get it.
Yeah, right.
Because I was waiting. So I'd already put the reality out there, and it's just waiting for it to happen.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It's so weird.
And yet there was that was probably the beauty of it all, wasn't it? You just put it out there. There was, and didn't really think much of it other than how good it could be.
Mate, there's no way in this world I would have thought that I'd be working with him. There's no chance.
But you didn't think negatively in that way, did you?
No, I just thought how good it would be.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, right, I see what you're saying.
When you put it out there.
Yeah, so I didn't have any resistance to it.
There was no resistance at all, was there?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking, oh, God, I would never get to go with this guy. I'll never do this. I'll never do blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, I see what you're saying,
Yeah, so it was really, when you look back at it, and it's always cool to look back on things.
Yeah.
Like you were saying about the day, you know, to see what you'd manifested in the day. It just works perfect, really, doesn't it? And it's 100%, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Because you just got to, that's what I say to people is, they go, well, what's manifesting? And you say to them, oh, well, you just got to look at your life and look at what you sort of asked for, the big ticket items, and 100% you've got them in your house or in your life.
Yeah.
And you've done it without even knowing.
Yeah.
Imagine what you could have done if you had known.
Yeah, well, this is what we're trying to tell people.
Yeah.
Like,
no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I say to people, and they they have a bit of an aha moment, a bit of a light bulb.
Yeah.
Sort of flicks on straight away. They go, oh wow, maybe that does make sense.
Yeah.
And you go, 100% it does, mate. And you just got to look at people, you listen to people and how they talk and the way they walk and all that.
Yeah.
And you look at what they've got, and it
correlates.
It correlates perfect.
Yeah.
So, what?
Yeah.
It's proven itself all the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does, yeah. And then, so going on to the other thing that happened with the same Freedom Network that I'm building is, because it's an online course, like an online community, and so I listened to a podcast called the online course guy with Jacques Hopkins. And I've been listening to it for ages. And because I get all the tips off him how to do the online communities and things.
Right.
And same thing. I imagine working with this guy. God, if only this guy could show me how to do an online community. Next thing you know,
It all happened again.
on his podcast, he says, I'm just about to release, very first time I'm going to release a coaching class. It's only limited to a few people. So if you want to apply, come on over to the site. And I went, and I didn't honestly think that I'd get on there because I didn't have, I thought he'd want it, because one of the questions was, hey, do you have experience and all these things? And I'm, nah. And then anyway,
I'll say this time you did have a bit of negativeness about it.
Well, yeah, I didn't, when I put the thing, I suppose I did have a little bit.
But the positiveness must have been overriding it.
Well, I think because it was already set in motion to happen.
Right.
Yeah, so I just, so I filled out all the questionnaire. In saying that, I still, even though I thought, I was thinking that to myself, but I was thinking, I still put it out there and said, no, I'm going to get this. He's going to send me an email and going to say, Troy, welcome to the coaching call. Anyway, sure enough.
Yeah, right.
3 months coaching call with Jacques. And I learned so much from him, and it was just like, it was excellent. And like two guys, like he's got $1 million course, and like he's the top of his game with that on that side. And then, so it's like working with a coach, like it'd be like you saying, I want to work with the best runner or something.
Yeah.
And next thing,
they'll pop up.
And next thing, something comes along and the door opens up and away it goes.
But like you say, there's a few other things, isn't it? You've got to be ready. You've got to be that person.
Well, you've got to be going in the direction.
Yeah.
Like I was already building everything. Like I was already doing all of it.
Yeah, but if you say a situation could have been a bit different if you weren't ready for it, it probably would. It sort of waits, doesn't it, to come along?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. And because people say that the ready thing, and I don't know. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know. How do we know? So when I manifest things now, I don't put a time limit. I just say as quick as possible.
Oh, okay.
So as quick as the universe can deliver to me, I want it in my hot little hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is probably another way of saying when I'm ready, but you're always ready and open for things.
Yeah, because I think if you say when you're ready, well, when are you going to be ready?
No, you don't necessarily say it, but it sort of arranges it for you in that way.
Yeah, but if you're thinking that,
right,
you can't think it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't even think it.
Yeah, because that puts the brakes on it. That's a negative.
Yeah,
sort of
you can't. This is the whole thing with manifesting. Or I don't even like Peter said. Manifesting is probably the wrong word. It's creating your future,
right,
or creating a reality.
Yeah,
so the whole
is a better way of saying
it.
Yeah,
so you're creating a future reality for yourself.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, and you're constantly doing it.
Yeah, so you're constantly doing it all the time. And the thing is, from when you're young, all your programming will line you up to have a certain thought pattern, and you'll keep creating that thought pattern over and over and over, like Groundhog Day, like we talk about with Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on the environment you're brought up in.
I'll tell you nothing, just popped in my mind. So when I was 15, I was with my auntie, and she was a negative bean. And anyway, someone was 40 and didn't own anything or didn't do something. And I said to her, I'm going to own everything I've got by the time I'm 40. And she goes, no, you won't. And consequently, I got to 40 and had nothing.
Yeah.
It was just like,
wow.
mate. And I used to try everything. And I'd try this and I'd try that. But in my program was to have nothing at 40.
Yeah, because of that little conversation.
Yeah. And then, well, it went all the way to 45 until I got electrocuted.
Yeah.
And got onto this road and realised, hang on a minute. So then I changed my whole belief system to a creator and realised about creating. And every single part of my life just went...
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it just took off.
So that's what you needed to get you off that path, was that...
The electric shock.
The electric shock was like a big,
probably.
great reset for you.
Well, something had to happen because... it was... Yeah.
Because you were heading down
even
that
though life was still good, but... it just wasn't... wasn't fulfilling or anything, you know.
Yeah.
It wasn't that great, really. But you put on a brave face, you know. Like everyone thinks that you're going great,
Yeah.
but in your own mind, you're not.
Yeah.
It's a hard.
Oh, you hear that story all the time. You never know what's happening behind closed doors.
Yeah. And because you don't like to, like especially being a guy. I'm not sure of girls. I think girls probably do the same. Because I was actually listening to a podcast. This is my phone. 9 to 5. What is it? 9 to 5. Get out a living or something. Oh, I'll have to have a look at it.
Oh, in relation to working hours.
Yeah, this lady's podcast that I've just started listening to, and she had another lady on there. It's called BBB. I can't. I only just listened to it, so I can't really recall all the stuff. But the lady that she was talking to was talking about that exact thing. It was when she. What happened with her was she said she was a plus size lady, and then so she decided to get healthy, right? And then 4 years of getting to healthy, and then she had a baby, and she thought she was going to be this image of this nice bump with a nice looking thing and a cute, you know, and it didn't. She went plump again,
right?
And then she ended up going down a bit of a spiral road because she all went back. And what I'm getting at is that your default mode, the same as my default mode when I was 15, you have to always go back to it. So her default mode was to get back to being fat, and so she always has to go back to it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's the same with you when you had that comment from your auntie thrown at you. You for the rest and into you had the electric shock in your 40s, mid 40s.
Yeah.
You would always revert back to that.
Yeah. I was down the same road all the time because you start to get a little bit ahead, and then you what's the word? You sabotage. You sabotage yourself. Unknowingly, you just sabotage and make decisions, and then. So
that's a classic example of what you were saying before. That's not even your decision. That was hers.
Yeah. So she put it in my mind.
She put it in your mind. It wasn't even your initial thought.
Imagine if she had said to me, "Oh yeah, Troy, you are going to smoke it. You are going to be that rich, and you're going to be this massive business person. Wow. You're going to have this, and this."
Yeah, absolutely.
Imagine what my life would have been like.
Yeah,
totally different.
Well, I suppose it's like I had it said to me as a kid when I was at school. It would have been primary school, and I was a bit of not a brat, but I was, I was into everything. Yeah. And I was like you, I spent a lot of time out of the classroom. Yeah. And I remember the principal, when he was giving me the cuts one day, he said, "Harris, you'll never amount to anything." For a while, I suppose I didn't. Yeah. But then I went in, I was lucky that I went overseas and did all my travelling. Yeah. And that woke me up to the big... What's possible in the world, and what I did, and where I could go all off my own bat. Yeah. And wow, opportunities just seemed to come along all the time, and I finally started putting the pieces of the puzzle together unknowingly. I'm thinking, wow, I got on such a good roll of not having to worry about accommodation. Every time I rocked in, somebody else would go, "Oh, we know somebody else that's there, you might as well head there." And I was just riding a pushy around the world, really. Yeah. And wow, I never had a problem. It was all just unfolding for me because I had that attitude of, "She'll be right, mate. I'll just keep going." Yeah, and you had no other thought that it wasn't going to happen. No. Like there was no way. You weren't thinking, "Oh, I'm not going to get anywhere to sleep, and I'm not going to go." Yeah, I always had my tent on my bag in my backpack, and that's all I needed. And I was just having the time of my life, and mate, I was on a roll for years. It was bloody awesome. Yeah. But yeah, so that's another example of it, isn't it? Just putting it out there, and it just keeps coming back, and keep putting it out, and it just keeps coming back and back and back. Yeah, the power of your own mind. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, I honestly thought that once I started telling people, they would just go, wow, and they would adopt it, like start to adapt to it. That's what I thought. Yeah. And man, it is like it is so difficult to explain to people that the world that they live in is not a real world. Yeah. Because from our box thinking that we've been taught from school,
the indoctrination system, it's like to break out of it.
Oh, it's a big brainwashing job, isn't it? To try and undo.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even undo. It's more just having an open mind and looking at something other than what's jammed down your throat every day by whatever the schooling system, the media. But people are just so indoctrinated and so trusting on that system that they can't look anywhere else.
And it's so weird, isn't it? Like, it's such a weird thing. Like, if you said to someone, oh, who are you going to vote for? Oh, what's that matter? Yeah. They're all idiots and criminals and they never do what they say anyway. But yet, when something critically happens and you have to rely on someone for your health or whatever,
they're putting everything in their hands.
Yeah.
And they just called them a criminal.
So they won't vote for them because they're criminals and liars and cheats.
And they're all the same.
Yeah, they're all the same. But then when something bad happens, oh God, let's go. We better listen to our criminals, liars and cheats until it's... Yeah. Imagine, like it's
crazy,
It's just that, it really... It's so weird to me.
Yeah. And I have the same view as well. I just go, oh, wow. Like, this is just scary how easy people
like a politician, there's no lower person on a peg, I don't think, than a politician, in my eyes. Like, they are, mate, they're just criminals. Mm. Like, they've got no intention of doing anything for the community except for himself. I've never seen...
Well, that's why they're in politics.
I've never seen one politician do anything.
They'll tell you that they're doing it for the community and everything.
Yeah.
But they know they don't have to do anything to get to a place of power.
I mean, in saying all that, I'm sure there are a couple out there, but, mate, they're few and far between.
Yeah, but... politicians, I'm sure there's, like you say, there's some good ones out there.
We shouldn't tar everybody. We shouldn't tar them all with the same brush.
Yeah.
And like I say about the sick care system, but I went today and got my skin checked for skin cancers. You know,
is that what that is on your...
Yeah, I got... Mate, he used about 2 kilos of gas on me.
Oh, really?
I said, geez, you're going to get a truck in, mate, to bring in another load of gas?
Yeah.
He burning. He goes, oh, you got no cancers, but they got all sun damage, apparently. Righto, whatever. And but he was, I have to give him heaps of credit. He was really nice. He was fit. He didn't have it was no turtle belly.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like is they were trying to make everyone wear masks.
Right.
I can't believe they're still wearing masks. Doctors. Yeah. And so you walk into the doctor's surgery, right? The 2 girls sitting down, the poor things, they're sitting behind there and they've got the mask pulled down over their nose because obviously they can't breathe properly.
Yeah.
And then his looks like it was that old and it's all floppy off his face. So I think, what, really? Like, why? What's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point? They must be forced by the AMA or something to wear them because, like, they just don't do anything. Like, they do absolutely zero.
Oh, they're proven in that.
Yeah.
But still, you tried to say that in the height of all the hysteria, and oh my God,
But if you, say you're a business owner, and... like if there was say for instance, you're a business owner and there's a room, right, and it's got a virus in there. And you give them that mask to walk into the virus room. Right.
Are you going to go in there?
Mate, you are liable because you've got to look up to see what the, what's it called, like
like the safety data sheet?
The data sheet. Thank you, Craig.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, the data sheet. So you've got to look up the data sheet and say, what is this?
Mask.
Of the mask.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to say, does this mask do A, B, C, D, E? And then you've got to say, no, it doesn't. Well, obviously you can't use it. Otherwise, work cover in Australia, work cover will, you'll go straight to jail, slap on a rope.
Yeah. Oh, so you're saying if the businessman was sending somebody into that room for a meeting and said, wear a mask.
Well, say, for instance, that was a virus room and you were doing it as an experiment or something. Like, just say, for instance, that was your business.
Yeah.
And there was a room and it may or may not have a virus in it.
Right.
And so you give your employee that same mask.
That's their PPE.
That's their PPE, protective equipment.
Yeah. And then they get the virus. They're going
to look at it and go, mate, I think I need a bit more than
that.
than that, you know.
But nobody thought about it.
No.
Nobody even batted an eyelid.
No. Like it flat out keeps dust particles out.
Yeah.
The only reason you know why they use it is because the surgeons use it because, you know, when they're bending over, so the spit doesn't go into the...
Yeah, right.
the spit doesn't go into their doing their surgeries and all those things. You know, they've got to stop the spit, and they need to be able to still breathe, obviously. So they need something breathable.
Yeah. So in that regard,
that's all it is.
It's just an effective barrier to have on your face to stop
the projectile spit's going everywhere.
Right.
You know, that's the only
they
way.
related it to the medical industry, and then they twisted it in a way that it prevented disease. And then attached it.
You still see. I see people in the car by himself wearing them.
I saw one in the car today.
I think who are you? What are you? Oh, mate.
Germs?
Oh, I just go, mate. What's wrong with these people? And I see people walking out on the beach and things by himself.
Oh wow.
With masks on.
Oh okay.
I was going, what do you just think it's like all floating around the ocean or something, or
maybe go for dolphins.
Oh God, I think wow, something's. Anyway, I don't know how we got down to that topic with the mask.
I think we were just relating it to how.
That's right, because of the criminal politicians.
Yeah, but I think
how they forced us to wear masks.
Yeah, but they were praying. I think we were talking about people not having an open mind and looking at an objective or a different side of the argument.
And so this is, and that's exactly right. What we were talking about is that we're so easily influenced with our mind.
Oh.
Like the power of our mind is, if you don't take control, someone else is going to control it.
Yeah, and they know that.
They know it.
Yeah. And they know how. And COVID was a perfect example for them. It was a perfect test to see how everybody would just roll over. Well, not everybody, but a good proportion of people.
Yeah.
And then they manipulated everybody else against the ones that didn't go.
It's such a weird thing too, because they know that they only have to do a very small percentage of the population. They don't have to convince everybody. A very small percent. And that creates enough hysteria because remember the minority are always the loudest. So the squeaky wheel gets the grease, you know.
Yeah.
So the minority are always the loudest. And so they've only got to get them on target. And then that creates a bit of hysteria. And then everybody else starts looking at, oh, wow, I better do it then.
Yeah.
And then so the more and more it sort of spreads like wildfire. Oh, if they're doing it, I better do it. If they're doing it, I better do it. If they're doing it, I better do it.
Yeah.
You know, instead of questioning.
And it just gains momentum.
Yeah, and that's how it gains. And then in the end, it just becomes
it's the mob mentality.
Yeah, the mob. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're not in that mob, they're just going to crush you.
Oh, mate. Yeah. That was, those last couple of years, God, they were incredibly difficult. Because Kerry and I both chose not to participate in the experiment because, you know, blind Freddie could see what was going on. And I was at a party on Saturday night and I was speaking to this girl there. Get off topic for a second. The lady I was speaking to, right? Kerry and I met her in Bali at our wedding, your honeymoon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in 1992.
I was about to say, that's nearly over 30 years
Yeah,
ago.
in 1992, we met her in Bali, and now, 30 years later, I'm sitting at this party with her. Anyway, so she goes, remember me? I went, no. She didn't look.
Oh, you didn't even remember her?
No, because she looked a bit, I hadn't seen her for that long, you know.
Right, but she remembered you.
Yeah, well, because I don't look any different.
You're a very memorable person.
Yeah. I'm still bored. Men seem to stay the same, more or less.
Yeah,
but girls change a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know, they seem to. Maybe it's just me, I don't know.
No, I've thought about that too.
Yeah.
Like people that you haven't seen for ages that are blokes.
Yeah. Don't change much.
They just go a bit grey and maybe pick up a few wrinkles or whatever.
Yeah.
But maybe because women are like concealing what they really look like.
With makeup. Yeah. So it's really hard to know with makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we used to see that in the television industry when we worked in that.
Yeah.
All the celebrities would walk in the morning and you wouldn't even look at them sideways because you didn't even recognise them.
No, you wouldn't recognise them until they talked and you go, huh?
Yeah, and then they put their makeup on and they were, wow.
Different person.
Yeah. From what walked in the morning to what went to air.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
So maybe that's got something to do with it, I don't know. But yeah, generally, like you're saying, blokes don't really change.
Off topic again. And so, anyway, that lady that I met 30 years ago and she was at the party. I don't know how we got on the subject, and then it got on about the vaccination. She's like 5 deep. And I just went, oh yeah. And she goes, did you get it? I went, no. She goes, why didn't you get it? And I said, well, first person has ever asked me. First person ever.
Yeah.
Why didn't you get it? I said, well, the virus is supposed to be new, and then within 3 months they've got a vaccine. And she says, well, they had all their best minds and all the money they spent to develop it. I said, yeah. I said, that could be correct. That could be right. I said, but you can't buy time. And she said, what do you mean? I said, well, the only way that you can test it on a human, test anything on a human, you've got to either inject them or they've got to eat it or whatever. And then you've got to wait a bit of time to see what reactions they get out of it. And generally, that's why medications are usually 5+ years. Because you don't know. You can't tell within one.
The long-term effects.
Yeah, you don't. It's not like, remember when they were injecting everyone, and if you didn't drop dead in 14 days, all good.
Yeah, but at the same time, they took away all liability from the companies.
Yeah, there's no liability.
There was no liability, so that's a big red flag.
Yeah, it's a huge red flag.
But we're going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's a big rabbit hole. But yeah, she was the first person to ask me, and but that was my critical thinking. Because what I'm getting, all of this, what we're all getting back to is that when you start to understand how much power you have with your mind, and then you understand how much everyone else has got and how much they can control you, that means that then you start to protect your mind, you know? And then as soon as things like that pop up, you go, hang on, that doesn't make sense. You know, if a medical intervention takes a few years minimum to see if it works or not, doesn't matter. They might have the best technology on paper.
Yeah.
It looks perfect. They've got the Petri dish and excellent. That works 100% in the Petri dish. But the human body's still got to try it, and you got to do it all different types of humans.
Yeah.
To make sure you got to old humans, young humans, different colour humans, all races of humans. You got to try all of them to make sure to see that it works across all fields.
That was just a matter of we've got this here. Wow.
Yeah, but that was what I was saying is that was the critical thinking that I did in my mind.
Yeah.
To say, well, that doesn't make sense to me, so no, I'm not doing it. Because I don't want to be, the experiment. And even people that say the experiment, it's actually written on there. If you go to the Google patent, on the actual patent for AstraZeneca and for Pfizer, it says experimental till August 2023, which is coming up.
Wow.
It's got it written on there, experiment.
Wow.
Yeah, it's written there.
That was obviously taken off when they were injecting everybody.
No, it's still there. It was there the whole time, but no one looks at it.
Yeah, right.
Like all the information. This is the other thing. All the information is always right in front of us, always.
Yeah.
But we just choose not to see it.
Yeah.
We just choose not to see it.
Yeah, hide it in plain sight.
Yeah. And so once, but getting back from all of that is to become a critical thinker, and to the power of your thought, and if you're not in control, someone else, it's either take control or be controlled. That's it. That's pretty well it.
Yeah.
And I'll give you another example. Remember when I first started learning all this stuff, and the very first thing that we did was you had a phobia for knives.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't, because I'm a major skeptic, like major.
Yeah. And we'd known this for as long as I've ever known you, eh?
Yeah.
Like, we used to be at work,
so we
and
thought,
you guys used to make fun of me.
Yeah. And then we say, so I thought, well, how can I test it? And then, great, you want to test this out? And sure enough, like the next day, boom, totally gone, wasn't it?
Well, I remember, I think at the time I'd been married for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even be in the house with knives. I remember we used to go away on holidays, and that would be my biggest fear, that like they didn't have Airbnbs in those days, but we used to be able to book a holiday house.
Yeah.
And you'd go there, and the first thing I'd do was walk into the kitchen, and it had a knife block or one of those magnetic knife holders on the wall. That was game over for me. Like, I just couldn't even sleep in the place.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be there hiding all the knives.
Yeah.
Because I just had this phobia of being stabbed.
Yeah.
And then, you asked me, I know your phobia, mate. And let's give this a go. And I remember by the time I got home, I was so cool with knives. I know.
No, it was the next day.
The next day, and I was at a restaurant, and I went into the kitchen and I asked the chef, "Oh, can I borrow a knife, the biggest knife you've got?" And he went, "Whoa, dude, what are you on about?" And I said, "No, I just want to rest it on my skin and take a photo of it and send it to my mate."
Yeah.
And he thought I was just gone.
He thought you were nuts.
And I did it. I rested the knife.
I wish I still had the photo. I don't know I think it was on your old phone. I tried to actually look for that.
Yeah. Mate, now we've got a kitchen full of knives.
Yeah.
Sleeping like a baby every night.
But that was the very first thing that we ever did. And after that, remember, I learned another technique. I learned another technique where I can become somebody else. I can become somebody else and change their phobia without them even knowing.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, come on. When I learned, I'm going, mate, that's ridiculous. There's no way known to science that's going to... Anyway, you had a phobia of bobby pins and buttons. You must have been a girl in your previous life.
I don't know, but no, because I couldn't have been, because I couldn't even stand...
could have been. What are you talking about?
I couldn't even stand the feel without dry wrenching of a bobby pin.
Yeah, something must have happened.
Plastic buttons. Whoa.
Yeah. And remember and you couldn't even pick them up off the floor?
I couldn't even look at them on the floor.
Yeah, because you got two young... Well, they're not young now, but you got...
I had two girls that were dancers. And I'd come home from bringing them at dance concerts and the bobby pins all over the kitchen bench. I was just dry wrenching.
It's such a weird phobia.
And then one day I had nothing, and I think I rang you up.
No, what happened was, right? I said, no, that's what happened, because I did it the night before, and then the next day I went, there's just no way. So I rang you. I said, oh, Craig, can you just go and do us a favour and go into the bathroom and grab one of the girls' bobby pins? Yeah. And you went, what? I said, can you please just go and do it? And
I think I said, have you been in my head?
Yeah, and you just picked it up like it was nothing.
Yeah.
And you went, what the hell? And then you got all stressed, because you go, what are you doing in my head? and I didn't think.
That was amazing.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying about, mate, we don't know what control. This is me. Yeah. This is a guy that's got no clue what he's doing.
Yeah.
And learnt how to become somebody else, like another person's energy, and change their phobia without them knowing.
Yeah.
Like, imagine what powers they've got. And so then I went, okay, that's just Craig. Maybe that was a fluke. So then I remember I started the thing I did the best year ever or something. It was 29, and before all the hysteria happened.
Yeah.
In 2020, I was on a roll and went. Anyway, so I think, and then my name, Jeff replied back and goes, yeah. He goes, see if you can get rid of my working at heights.
Oh, that's
remember
right.
that?
Yeah, I remember that.
And because I knew, because I worked with him for years. And, mate, I used to have so much fun with him. I hop in the cherry picker and I'd get it right up high and he'd be hanging on with grim death, and then I'd just flog it straight to the ground and we'd go, whew, and then it'd go boom, boom, boom. And then he'd be nearly crying.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I thought it was a great joke, but he didn't think it was so funny. So anyway, so I knew that his was really, really bad, his phobia of heights.
Yeah.
I went, wow, that'll be something. So anyway, so I become Jeff and did me thing, and then next thing you know, I think it was the next day or the day after, he's working, sends me a photo. He put it on Facebook. He sent a photo, and he's up the top of this pole, leaning right back, going, mate, it's gone. My phobia's gone. There's no. He goes, I
remember that photo when he sent you that photo up the top of the pole. Yeah.
Yeah. He said it's gone.
Yeah.
I've got no phobia. And then I think I was only talking. That was years ago now.
Yeah.
And then last week, I think I was talking to him about that. He goes, he goes, it's just weird that
you can do that.
Yeah, he goes, I was at the top of these trees doing this treetop thing, and I had the rope, and I was with his girlfriend Elena, and he goes, watch this, and I'm going lying back, and then I just let it go, and he goes, and then she starts freaking out, and I'm hanging back. He says like it's nothing.
Yeah, he was doing to hurt her.
So that was 2 out of 2. And he was in Queensland, and I'm in Sydney.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're next to each other, because it's the flower. We are all connected.
Yeah.
Like everything and everybody is connected. And this is the thing why I'm so talk about, if you don't take control, somebody else will. And that's why I believe that the FEB have got some sort of mind control tool or something that's controlling the general population somehow.
Wow.
And I think that when we're negative, when we're into that low vibration of negativity, we're easily controlled, easily.
Yeah.
And so, but they've got to keep us low. They've got to keep us low and separated. So, because when we're together, that's why we remember that our energy field is 1.5 meters roughly around us, and that's the gap they wanted us to have.
Yeah.
So they keep us apart, and they keep us in fear.
Yeah.
And I think that allows the energy to come in somehow and connect to us.
Yeah. And control,
and to control our mind.
Well, that was exactly the game plan,
and that's
wasn't it?
Yeah, when you look at, mate, it was like ridiculous, the control.
Oh.
People were just nuts.
Yeah.
Like it was out of control.
It was dog eat dog, wasn't it?
Oh,
Even just to get some toilet paper. That was, I'd never thought I'd see the day that happened.
It was just
Australia.
hysteria,
It was that was the word, hysteria.
Yeah. And then...
And they got off on it, didn't they? Every day they would make it worse.
Yeah. But this is what I'm saying. But this is why with the Freedom Network, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to raise the vibration, because if everyone raises up and becomes strength and becomes self-empowered...
They lose that control.
Zero. Look at me. They can't control anything I do.
Yeah.
Nothing.
That's why they don't want anybody knowing any of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And same as you know that when something's going, you go, no, that doesn't make sense. Like you start to think, you go, no, that doesn't make sense. While everyone else is going, oh yeah, come on. And you're going, hang on a minute.
Take a step back.
Yeah. Well, that's what it allows you to do. It allows your mind to become critical thinking.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so critical that we all... This is why I'm so passionate about it, because of those two things that I did. And the other thing is, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
Right.
You know, like to become somebody else and change their pattern, their vibration. You know, it's probably not right. You know,
No.
It's probably not right. But I didn't. In my defence, Craig. In my defence,
I'll give it to you.
I didn't know that would actually be a thing. I didn't, and there is no way. Like even now, people listen and we go, "Yeah, that's bullshit." But mate, I'm telling you, it
was real.
It happened. And then I went, I would never do it again.
Yeah.
Because that's for that exact reason. Like, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
Right.
Yeah. And because they've got their journey, and maybe they needed that for their journey for some reason.
Yeah.
To protect them for something. Who knows?
Right. Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
And I've changed it. I've changed that directly, even though it's worked out good for you. But
it worked out.
And Jeff, it worked out great for Jeff.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do it with anyone else, because, you know, and that's like when I work with people, I get them to heal themselves. Like I get them to change all their own wiring and all their own things in their own mind. I get them to do the whole thing themselves. Like I don't do anything.
Yeah.
I just facilitate how to do it.
Yeah.
And guide them and say, you just do this, and then no, keep going, and no, do this. You know, I'll give them all the directions, but you physically do it yourself.
Yeah.
And so that you're in full control, and then so that means that there's no external control, only you. Like you become fully self-empowered.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that when I work with people, why they feel so good after it, because they've empowered themselves.
Right. Yeah.
And they realise, hang on a minute, I've got all this power. I just did all that like in a matter of an hour or so.
Yeah.
You know, got rid of this, and this, like all these things, and now I feel amazing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the light bulb goes on and go, holy shit.
But trying to explain that to somebody, it's just because you've got to undo everything, and then there's the stigma attached. It's not supported by.
There's no ticket.
There's no ticket.
Yeah.
There's no university degree.
People say that all the time. What ticket you got? Zero.
Yeah.
I got nothing. School of Hard Knocks, mate.
Yeah.
But people, if I spent 8 years, inside the ticket industry, I'd have doctorates.
Yeah.
But because I spent 8 years on proper research and knowing what the power of what the human can do. No, it's
all woo-woo.
Yeah, woo.
Woo-woo science. Yeah.
But
because it doesn't make any money.
No, it doesn't.
It'd kill the pharmaceutical industry overnight.
Mate, people can get off their medications. Like 90% of people that are on medication could eliminate them overnight. Almost, because it takes a bit of time to wean off them. They could eliminate them. 80% of medications could be gone. 80% of the sick care system could be gone.
Wow.
The people living could be just so much better. Like you look at now, you walk around on your walk, mate, people got their head down, no one smiles, they've got no one says hello, not no one, but like if you say hello to someone, it's just like,
They're dead set shocked, don't they? Yeah, it's like we see it down the beach all the time, don't we? We walk past people or in the car
good
park
morning.
or down the morning, and they're dead set, put back.
I see the same people on the walk every day. And with Kerry, I said, watch this guy. I said, this guy, he's angry. I said, I say good morning to him every morning without fail. And he said, never saying, morning. I was like that when he's nearly passed me, morning. But it's the same guy. You think, like, we're coming towards each other. He can see me and I can see him.
Yeah.
Nothing. More. It's like, I was like, hey, watch this. I have a bit of fun about it. But
the interaction's gone, hasn't it?
Yeah, we've got to bring it back, Craig. So that's what we're about. The Freedom Network, that's what we're here for. Bring it back, mate. Let's get exciting. Limitless.
Become limitless.
Yeah. And we're about becoming self-empowered. That's why every morning I'm getting that out there. You know what I'm saying? Day 12. Because we want to finish this year off incredibly strong. Everybody. We want everybody. It'd be unreal. If everyone come and join the Freedom Network, that'd be fantastic. And it's all free. There are some paid programs on there, but most of it's for free, so you get like that much value out of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of information on there now.
Yeah, but if everyone just starts to do something, doesn't matter. Just do anything.
Even if it is just saying g'day to each other.
Yeah. And then once you get on the road, mate, unstoppable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And oh, God, it just feels so good.
Because it used to be like that, didn't it? Everybody used to interact with each other and acknowledge. People don't even acknowledge each other anymore because, number one, most of the time they've got their heads down in their phones.
No, but you know too, it's you don't know because if you say the wrong thing, because the political correctness thing has gone so bad.
Oh, you reckon everybody's scared?
Well, yeah, you could say one thing. Say if I said to a girl, I said, "Oh, well, you got nice eyes."
Yeah,
mate, she could take me to the cleaners.
Yeah.
Because I was chauvinistic pig.
That's happened to me before when I've held a door open for a lady.
Yeah.
And she full on got into me because I thought she couldn't open the door herself.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let it slam in her face.
Yeah, I know. It's just and I think this is why. I think that because the political correctness thing has gone so bad the other way, people are actually worried.
And so that was deliberately introduced for that reason.
100%.
Yeah.
100%, mate.
Wow.
Yeah, I tell you, it's psychological warfare.
So it comes back again, doesn't it? They're getting into your mind. They're controlling your mind. Your way of thinking is being controlled and manipulated.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we can break free, Craig. This is the great thing.
Yeah.
The great thing is, if you decide today, you get up in the morning and go, right, from today onwards, I am a new Troy. So from today, I am going to become this new person, this, and I'm going to do this, and this. And you just start on that journey. Every day is a brand new creation. Every single day, brand new creation. And we just get on the journey and then we start to go.
And then just take break it down into segments and take every segment as a win.
Yeah.
And then get more, it's all about a confidence roll.
You climb a mountain, mate, one step at a time.
Yeah. And then you've got in the end, you've got so much momentum.
Yeah. But anyway, God, we could just talk for hours on this stuff. It's just, if people just knew the power that they have in their mind, the mind controls everything. If we start with the mind, and then every other part of the body, the part of everything falls into place once you get the mind right. Because the mind's first.
So the body will follow the mind.
Yeah, because the mind uses the body, and the body's got microbiome, and it's got all the things to do with the gut, and then that creates something, and then you've got the feeling part of it, and that creates something, and but it all comes from the mind.
Yeah.
All comes from the mind.
Yeah. And it's something we've got given to us.
Yeah, we've got the power. Everyone's got the power.
Yeah.
But anyway, we could go on all day about it, and so hopefully, but our mission is to help you to become self-empowered and limitless. And so we're trying to get as many podcasts out. We do Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. We're hoping to keep that up into the long term. If you want to join the Freedom Network, head over to freedomnetwork.io. And we've got 2 platforms there, one for men and one for women. The men's is almost ready. We're about 4 weeks away.
Wow.
So that's just about to rip. But the ladies is just started now. So we've got a group in there now, and they're just, they're going gangbusters. And so our mission is 90% of it is free. because we want to create the world's biggest movement of to get self-empowered and raise the vibration of the earth, and then we all become self-empowered, you know. So thanks again to everybody. Thank you, Craig, for your time.
Thanks for having me.
And if you know anybody that this would help, or, you know, or even if you just help somebody, you know, spread the love. Well, thanks very much and have a great day.
Thanks a lot.